I'm just glad I don't have to pick one. But if I would have to pick one, I know which one. But I don't have to. I'm glad, and this is just a nice exercise.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
ADC Gunner, what do you prefer, Tudor or Omega? I'm wearing my Speedmaster on this Strapsco leather NATO, which is supposed to be waterproof, and I'm giving it a heck of a run and test because uh, I sweat a lot and it's really hot outside, and I'm wearing this every day. Hopefully, sun will catch and make some patina on my watch, but I'm wearing this on this, and so far, so good. It is waterproof. It's from Strapsco. And no, this is not a paid promotion or anything. I just want to help you out. If you like leather needles, but you want something waterproof, water resistant, Strapsco is. I will link you some of the affiliate links down there. So if you buy one, I will get 20 cents. I don't know. They're not very expensive, so it's a commission. Recently, I've been asking myself, what brand do you prefer, Tudor or Mega? My favorite Tudor is Pelagos, and I think that's the only Tudor watch that I really like. I owned one, the black one, titanium generation first, with the ETA movement, but I like the aesthetics. I like the watch. It's I like its design and engineering, the bracelet, the clasp, the glide lock system on the bracelet, attention to details, beveled edges, uh, even the titanium part I like because even though it's a grade 2 titanium, I like it because it's it's a first titanium that came out from a Rolex factory and it does not look that grayish ugly thing, but I think Tudor Pelagas in steel would be a hit. I would definitely want one. And yeah, Pelagas is my favorite Tudor because it doesn't look like something else. It stands on its own. It has a snowflake hands, snowflake indexes, beautiful bezel action, ceramic bezel, loomed bezel, to die for the watch, one and only watch to have your entire life. I cannot regret enough selling the Tudor Pelagos, but it went for a greater cause, so it is what it is. But Tudor Pelagos is my favorite Tudor, black one. I reviewed the Black Bay Burgundy, and when I say I reviewed, that doesn't mean I just took it, did a video about it. I like to wear and experience my watches before I review or anything else I do. And I wore that watch for a week. Uh, it didn't do anything for me, and the owner of the watch who got it, he loved it so much. But when he got it, it quickly became boring. Black Bay Burgundy, I thought that's the one. I didn't want the blue one or the black one. They're they're too much submarinerish. Then Burgundy is okay, but it gets boring pretty fast. And it's a good watch, even though it's a good watch, it's not something that a long term floats my boat. Also, Tudor Monaco, the beautiful blue and a white color scheme, the chronograph. It's kind of too thick, and at the first glance, it's really good, nice. I like it. Tudor chronograph, Black Bay, Moonwatch. So I think honestly, I prefer Omega versus Tudor. I love Pelagos. I would love to have one. I will probably get one if I can. But Omega is gotta be the winner in this duel. So From the Moonwatch to the Seamasters to the history to the movements to the coaxial escapement to the beautiful you can argue that Omega puts better movements in their watches than Rolex. And from the planet oceans, every one of those watches has its own faults, but when you take Omega versus Tudor, Omega is a strong competitor to Rolex, and I strongly believe that Rolex reinvigorated Tudor company and as a brand because we all know Tudor's a Rolex, and that's what people who buy Tudor are telling themselves. But uh, I strongly believe that Rolex put out Tudor out there to beat off the competition. So now you have Omega competing versus Tudor, and Tudor competes versus Breitling and other competitors, and Rolex took the high road and they stay on it. It's a brilliant move, if you ask me. But I think one can argue that Omega is putting better movements into their watches than Rolex. And Tudor, we're not gonna even discuss it. So Tudor is a cool brand. I love wearing Tudors, but if you're saying, if you're asking me, is it better than Omega? I say no. I say no. Uh, you have to take a lot of things into account from history. You can argue to there as history. There are some stories recently on Hodinkee, but you had to know one thing about Hodinkee. It's all paid for. It's all paid for by Tudor. Those cool story talking watches. They found a veteran, army veteran who wore. And one of the biggest Tudor icons is Tudor Submariner. And it's just a Submariner. So the real question here is Rolex versus Omega, and not Omega versus Tudor. And of course, Tudor and Rolex love that. You want to compare Omega versus Tudor, and you compare Rolex versus, I don't know, Vacheron and something higher road. So I think they did a brilliant job. I love some Tudors, I love Omegas, but if I had to pick, there's a better watch made from by Omega than any Tudor out there from historical standpoint, from movement standpoint, from fit and finish standpoint. I think fit and finish it's pretty much all there. Omega does excellent attention to details, and some of those black bay Tudors are not really impressive that much. It's just a simple watch, and don't even get me go there to the some other Tudor watches that are not Pelagos black bays. All the other parts of Tudor those are just not worthy of competing. And sure, Omega has its own dogs in the lineup, like the whole Deville lineup or Constellation, Modern Constellation, is not popular with us boys, fanboys, but they're selling a lot of those constellations. The Omega CEO says they selling a lot of female ladies watches, constellation watches, and even I almost did a review of Omega Deville, the mother one, just a 300, nice watch, simple, but I didn't do it, and also I almost got an Aquaterra, guys. If you haven't seen Aquaterra in person, the blue one or the gray one, just go to the nearest Omega boutique, and it's even more impressive than the Moonwatch. I wanted to get an Aquaterra, but the guy I was buying it from, he changed his mind in the last minute, and instead of this Moonwatch, I would be wearing Aquaterra, and the dial on that thing, it's a direct competitor to Datejust, and it's a really nice looking Aquaterra. Aquaterras from Omegas are bargain, and especially on the used market. I always buy watches on the used market. I let someone else take the depreciation hit, and I always buy used watches, and I think that's the way to go if you are budgeting. So yeah, this was my little thoughts on Tudor versus Omega, or should I say Omega versus Tudor, and I would love to hear your thoughts. I think that Omega wins hands down. It's not even a competition.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.